Welcome to Center College's current international student panel for admitted international students. A big congratulations to all of you on your admission to Center. We're very excited that you are potentially joining in the fall, and there are some of you who have already joined. So please give a round of applause for digitally or physically for the potential new members of Center family. Woo! Ibrahim's got flowers. Great. Perfect celebration materials. I want to jump right in. So in today's webinar, you'll be hearing from our amazing group of current international students about their college journey and how they made their college decisions. And they come from all over the world. And they were once in your shoes some time ago. So it'll be great to hear from them. I know, like I said earlier, I know some of you in the audience have already decided to come to Center. So yay, congratulations again. And we're going to start off with introductions. We're going to start off with the introductions for the panel, do the panel, and then we'll open up the floor for your questions at the end. And with that, we'll start off with introductions. So for all of my panelists today, please introduce yourself and include your year, your major, and where you call home outside of Center College. After a while, panelists are doing that. For those who are in attendance, if you want to share your name, where you're from, and what excites you the most about Center, you can put that in the chat. So we'll go that way. And for my panelists, anybody can start off. And then once you have done your introduction, pop it over to someone. So I see Uliana and Anahit raising their hands, so I'll let them do the introduction first.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see everyone. I'm very excited to see you in person soon. I am Anahit. I'm a senior here. That means I'm a fourth year. I am a biology major, social justice minor, and I am from Yerevan, Armenia.
Hi, my name is Uliana. I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia. I'm also a senior, and I'm majoring in international studies and French.
I'm Ibrahim. I major in international studies. I'm a third year currently. I'm a junior, and I'm from Baghdad, Iraq.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Ngọc, NGOC for spelling, and I am an international student from Vietnam. I'm sophomore here at Central, and I'm double majoring in economic and math. On campus, I'm involved with the VSA Central Ambassador and also the peer tutoring in the Central Learning Commons. And also, yeah, that's it. I'm so excited to meet you guys and looking forward to share my experience here in Central.
Hi, everyone. My name is Murali Silva, and I'm a sophomore or a second year. And I just declared my major as international studies and computer science both. So I'm very excited. And my home is Ahmedabad. My home is Ahmedabad in India.
Amazing. Thank you all for your wonderful introductions, and we'll jump in right away. So we'll now begin the panel discussion portion of our program. And the first question is to all of our panelists here. Could each of you briefly talk about your college application journey and the factors that were important to you when you were making your college decision? So whoever wants to start off first, please do, and then we'll go from there.
We can just go from the same order we introduced ourselves. So my application process was like 5 years ago, so I don't remember it as well, but I remember it being very stressful. And I'm sure you all can resonate with this when you are on the other side of the world trying to convince universities in the US to accept you. It's not the most fun thing, but I remember when I was trying to make a list of universities to apply, my priorities for applications were to be in a place where I would feel safe, because all I would hear from Armenia was how dangerous being in the US was. So that was my number one priority, being in a safe place. I already knew that I was interested in STEM course, so a place with good labs, a place that had a good rate of women in STEM, and Center is, I think, #1 for women in STEM in the area. We are ranked high for women in STEM, somewhere there. So that was how I found out about Center. And of course, financial aid package is also really important. And Center offers really generous financial aid packages.
I think my not being a woman in STEM, I can't relate to that point, but everything else I do connect with. The most important thing that I was looking for, of course, was the financial aid for international students. Another factor that I was not international financial aid for international, yeah. Another thing that I was looking for was a small, tight-knit community with a small classroom size. A place where I could engage with professors every single day, where I could meet them, where I could get to know them, a place that offered a lot of internship opportunities, that had a community of international students, and finally, a place that had good study way programs. All of these factors were very important to me, and that's why Center seemed to be the perfect fit.
For me, first of all, the college application process for me was hard because I didn't have the literacy when it comes to the college applications. You know, like the Common App, everything that goes in within that. The way college applications, usually go. College visits. I don't know, so many things. And I didn't really have the literacy for that. So a lot of my process was guided by a counselor, and he's the one that actually told me about Center, and that's how I applied. I discovered very quickly as I applied that there's not much place for financial aid for international students unless they are like geniuses, and I did not really consider myself a genius. But when I had a conversation with someone from Center, Annie Murphy, and it was a match. And she suddenly was very committed to getting me to come to Center, and she made it happen. And so far, I've been loving my time here. And so, really, I think to me, in hindsight, what really mattered about selecting a college was selecting one that really does care about you and that wants you to be there, and not one that sees you as some sort of burden international student. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I can go next. So for me, I think that's my journey to study abroad in the USE kind of like it's not too hard because I have a counselor in my high school, and he is the one who introduced Central College to me, because like in my high school there is some student who already studied abroad in Central College before, so that is why I know about Central College. And then I think I want to, and then when I need to make my decision, I chose Central because I came from a big high school because it in the capital city. So I feel like that in my college, when I want to go college, I want to be in a small class that I can easy to connect with my professor, like because I want to study in a small liberal art college. That's why I can also like I'm really impressed about Central Network, our commitment that we can get like a research internship or study abroad program during our 4 year, and that's why I chose Central.
Personally, a little bit different. My plan wasn't like initially to study abroad, and none of my classmates or companions had experience studying abroad. Like I was the only person in my whole school who was applying abroad, and so my school didn't have a counselor to help me with the application process. And so luckily, my dad was a part of the education department, and he helped make like create like a fake counselor position to help me sign the documents and stuff. And I I got to know about Center through Next Genius, which is like a scholarship in India, and I just loved more than the name of Center College. I love the part of liberal arts colleges, and the idea was new to the country, and now there are some in India, but um, it was just really wonderful to me, and that's why I went on into the application process, and I got a lot of help from Next Genius and Annie. Personally, it was my first application and first time even writing an essay. So all of that went really well. In the end, there was not that much pressure, but it was a long process.
Well, thank you so much to all of you for sharing your college journey. And I think it's apparent that the college application process can be daunting, can be very long, and can be exciting at the same time. But on the bright side, you have already passed over to the other side. So now it's where you have to make your decision, and decisions can be another difficult part, but it can be a rewarding part of the process. So thank you all to the panelists for sharing their journey. And I believe the next question is a question that many students are anticipating, and that is, given all these journeys that you have taken during your college application journey, and that you obviously had to make your college choices, why did you choose Center? And what made you choose Center? And what was it about Center that made you choose this community? The questions, feel free to, anyone can go first, or we can repeat the same order.
Do we want to go reverse? I can start if you want.
We can go.
Yeah, so I chose Center mostly because of the things that Anahit mentioned earlier. I wanted to go to a college where I could be seen. I knew that I wasn't completely sure about what I wanted to do in life and what I wanted to study in college, and so just a place where I could get like adequate mentoring or like even be seen at a closer level, and was where I would end up going. And so the United States was a little intimidating for me, but the fact that the United States isn't all big universities and huge classrooms, it was pretty satisfying to hear. And so Center has really small classrooms. It has a good student professor ratio, and you get that close connection with not only the people you live with and study with, but also with the professors and staff, like Jojo right here, who's an amazing friend. Um, and so that was what I needed, and that was what I was looking for. And it was my only application in the United States, and even though that it's a big decision to leave the country and study somewhere else, so that is why I chose Center. I felt like I would be seen and taken care of.
No, I believe you're next.
Yeah. For me, because I thought earlier that I want to choose a small liberal college, and also to be honest, the most reason why I chose Central, because like Central give me a generous scholarship and financial aid that my family can afford for my education in the US. And also, before I came to college, I don't have any idea what I will major in and what I want to do in the future. So that's why I really love Central, because like as a Central student, you don't need to declare the major until the sophomore year. And we also had 2 first year to study about the general education requirement. That is, you will have experience to study like multiple discipline in the college. And that's why I really want to study in Centrals. And also like after my first year in Central, with the help from my academic advisor, I realized that Central really helped me in like how to navigate my futures and how to like choose my major. That's it best for me. Yeah.
For me, I was really, one thing that I was really nervous about whether Center would be able to accommodate or meet in terms of expectations was that I had a really nice community in my high school. like a really nice community, and it really transformed my educational experience, honestly. It's not something that I experienced in education before, having a community. um, and I was really, really looking to have that sort of community at Center. And when I first arrived, it was hard because I arrived late and it was COVID, and social life wasn't really a thing. But eventually, I found my community, and I think that Center does do this thing really well in that if people want to, they can and do end up finding a circle, a sphere, for them to be heard, to be loved, uh, for them to be able to find support. Um, so yeah, that's to me that's one thing that I thought was important.
For me, I was looking for a small liberal arts school that I came in initially as I was applying. I wanted to be an English major. Then when I accepted to go to Center, I decided that I want to be an environmental science major. Later on, I switched to being an international studies major, and then I added the French major. So this flexibility in terms of picking my education path, picking my career path, and giving freedom to explore different courses, different curriculum, having general education requirements that kind of broadened my understanding of the world, and not being confined to one narrow track, that was very important to me. That's the system that we have in Russia. You want to do math, you have to apply for a math program, and that's it, you're stuck. And so I really appreciated the fact that Center gave me this freedom to explore. And like Myrtle said, Myrtle's a sophomore, but he just had to declare his major. So you have 2 years to think about what you want to do. Another important aspect for me was having an advisor, and every student gets an academic advisor that you can always talk to, that helps you pick your courses, that answers all of your questions. And having someone that I could always go to, having someone that could always kind of guide me was also crucial. We also get as international students an international student advisor, Jessica Leonard. She's incredible, and because it's such a small community, not such a small, but because it is a community, and you do get to know people, you get to establish these close relationships, and knowing that there are people who have your back becomes crucial. And I think that made my Center experience, and that's why I'm glad that I chose Center.
Mine is combination of everything that people already said. First of all, I also had a really great community in high school, and I genuinely thought if I move all the way to the US, I will be having a hard time finding that, because after all, my best friends were coming from the same place, same culture. There was not much to talk about over there, and I thought I would have a hard time finding people here. But we were introduced even before we got to Center, and I came to Center, and immediately I was able to find people in my classes, people just around campus, because we all live together. We all live in very close proximity within each other. So it doesn't matter what's your major, it doesn't matter what's your field, you will end up making friends across all the departments and all the fields. Other thing was, as Dana mentioned, close class size, small class size. And again, in high school, I was very close to my teachers, and having that mentorship, I thought I would lose that mentorship, but I came here and having 15 people, I think average is having 18 students on campus in a class, and you can't have more than 30 students in a classroom, which is absolutely amazing, which means you get all the personal attention from the professors. You will be noticed if you're not doing well or if you're succeeding. Both ways, you are seen. And I remember when I was talking to my counselor back home, they were like, if you choose a bigger school, it's harder to be seen as an international student, especially as an undergrad student. So going to a small liberal arts school will give you the visibility and the opportunity to create your own either resources or your own opportunities for yourself. So there were a lot of factors that came into that decision, but those two were the highest.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. And obviously, there are some common themes among all of you here, and that one of those themes is community. And I think all of you speak about community to a certain degree, and I think that is evident through what you heard today, as well as what you may have seen or heard about Center through other forms of medium. So that's a takeaway, and obviously. Center is a place where education is personalized for each individual students. The kind of support that you'll receive from faculty and staff are personalized in a way that we make sure that you get these personalized advising and counseling so that you can succeed in whatever field that you may choose to pursue. So thanks to all of you for sharing all of that. And obviously, this is an important question, and it's an important question that students are wondering right now. So, having said all of this, and of course, all of you are upper class students, and having and living the Center experience, were your expectations of Center met through your Center experiences, and knowing what you have been through already, and what you are experiencing now, would you choose Center again?
We'll go reverse. I'm a senior. I'm already graduating in 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And I would say my expectations were met and exceeded. When I was reading all those Center commitments and stories of people studying abroad, I was like, yeah, sure. good advertisement, good job. And I was very skeptical of any college that I was looking into. I was like, of course, you're going to share the best stories, the best success stories. And I just thought those are for the people who either have the money, have the need, have the means to do all of that. And I thought all of those big words were just for American students. And when I came here, I realized that international students get as many opportunities as well. And especially studying abroad was a dream. And even though being in the US is already studying abroad, I was able to study abroad multiple times while I was at Center, and it's made very accessible, and which was honestly shocking to me, that the tuition you would pay for a semester is the tuition you would pay for a semester in Strasbourg instead. And I studied abroad in University of Reading, and in a classroom we had over 200, 300 students, and it was very valuable to have that experience, but also made me appreciate Center even more. So another reason why I appreciated my Center experience here, and having the community and the network here, I know I will carry after graduation as well. I know these are not the people that I will just say, okay, it was nice spending the last 4 years with you. I'll see you when I see you. So in that way, Center made me feel home so far away from home.
Yeah. Anahit was saying that looking at all of these stories that were shared on the website, you only see success stories. But I think after I came here, I realized that every student here, I would say, does have a success story to share about their time at Center, because no matter who I talk to, everyone is doing something super cool. They're either in a dance class or doing fun things, or pursuing theater, or studied abroad 10,000 times, or did a full-time internship, or doing the school independent study, literally organizing events. Center, because I would say the education here is very personalized, and it can adapt to everyone's interests. So no matter what you want to do here, you can do it here, and you will be given the resources and the support. Looking back at Center, yes, I would definitely still do it. I think COVID is a good example. We came here, COVID hit during our first year, and I have a lot of other Russian students, Russian friends who are in America, studying in America right now. A lot of them were sent home. A lot of their administrations didn't want to deal with international students, while Center allowed international students to stay on campus and was super accommodating, super welcoming, super understanding. And I think even that example to me showed that Center will support me no matter what. So looking back at it, yes, I'm infinitely grateful that I got the chance to come here.
Yeah, so for me, actually I'm just sophomore, but I already had 2 years here in Essential. So if I can choose again, I think I would still choose Essential because like as I said before, before I came to my first year, I did not know what is my major and what I want to do in the futures. So that's why I really appreciate my professor in my first year, my academic advisor, and also Jessica, who is our international advisor. They helped me a lot in my first year. I remember that in my first year, I really struggled with my class because English is not my first language. But then, I just come to my professor office, like not every day, but sometimes, and also come to Jessica office, talk to them about what is my concern, and they also give me a lot of advice, not about my class, but also like how can I overcome to the cultural shock, and how can I adapt in a new environment, adapt in the US. Yeah.
I wouldn't. For me, I would never choose to not do it again, because it not only did Center meet my expectations, but also really surpassed them because there were things that I didn't know that I was expecting that were met. One example is Anahit mentioned that either Anahit or Rihanna, they mentioned that you can create these relationships with your faculty members, and that's one thing that really impacted my trajectory as a student, really. My interests, my hobbies, my academic interests, my future career goals. It's because of a mentorship sort of relationship that I had with a professor who I really like. And she sort of just influenced me into doing something that I found out that I've always wanted to do, but just didn't have the language to actually, pinpoint that. So, yeah, I wouldn't change anything. If anything, I would just change the way I reacted with things. But I would not have chosen any other place other than Center.
I mean, me too, like everybody else here. Definitely would do Center again. Um, but the reason for that is a little different because I am constantly having my expectations surpassed, like you all have had. Like I'm almost done with half of my time here at Center, and it just still feels like I was just a first year, and I just came in here, and I just had a lot of energy, and I just wanted to change this whole campus with all that energy, and I it's just like there's so much here to explore at Center. Just it being a liberal arts college says a lot about how it does not close you off in a particular path or a particular field or particular type of study. Um, I just see all these athletes, and I think that what if I joined Center as an athlete, and I would definitely do that again, if I had, if society allowed me. I would definitely take philosophy maybe as my major, maybe completely focus on international studies, not just computer science and international studies. Maybe take something else as a major, like mathematics or physics, because being at Center, you get to explore so many fields and you just get a little experience of everything. But it constantly leaves you with that feeling of what if I just completely took like a deep dive into this subject and made it my major. And so definitely would do Center again. And just the people here I know are amazing, have probably been amazing and are gonna be amazing. So I'm looking forward to the new admitted class also.
Well, that's amazing to hear from all of you about the fact that you would do center all over again. And as a former international student myself at center, I agree. I would do it all over again if I could. But obviously, we want the admitted international students to have amazing and wonderful experiences like these panelists have. That's another reason to look at center or to seriously consider center. With that, I have two quick questions before we end our panel discussion portion of our program today. And the first question is for everybody, for all of our panelists here. If you have to describe your center experience in one word, what would it be?
Transformative.
Transformative. Okay. All right.
I think for me, it could be community. Yeah.
Community. All right. Transformative community. I like where this is going.
I would go with family.
Family.
A bit more dramatic.
Oh, so true.
I'll surpass you and I'll say love. It's even more dramatic. I was gonna say community first, but you stole that, and so now I have to. Oh my God, that's perfect. It's a poster saying love in Armenian. Um, yeah, I said love because there's a lot of things that I personally, from my own intentions, love that I have found here at Center. Just because this is a very welcoming and accepting environment. Things, people, all sorts.
I would call it an adventure.
Adventure. Love, adventure, transformative community, amazing journey. And just to make sure that everybody get the context about that little poster, Maril or Anahit or Uliana, does anybody want to explain that poster a little bit?
Sure. So we organized an intercultural ball last week, and this is the annual intercultural ball that we do every year. It's the best event of the year. It's people coming together and dancing and having fun and eating good food and getting to know each other and celebrating each other. And this year the theme was love. So Marilla and Juliana made these posters, and it says love in different languages represented around campus. We have more than 30 languages represented on campus, and we had all of them in here.
And the reason it's the intercultural ball is because we play music from all over the world.
And we dance.
And we dance.
A lot.
It was a great event. Lots of laughter, lots of dancing, lots of great food too. So that's an adventure that you could dip into if you decide to come to Center. But thank you for explaining. And the last question I have for the panel today is, if you could give a 30 to 40-second parting advice for international students who are making their college decision right now, what would that be?
Honestly, I would say not shying away to reach out to students, to current students, and talking. These panels I consider really helpful, especially when I was making my decision. I think talking to students was the most helpful thing. That being said, if you all want to reach out to me, you're more than welcome to. I'm the Anahit from Anahit and Juliana. So honestly, I think, and if you go on LinkedIn and just look up student at Center College, you would get like thousands of people. So biggest advice, reach out to people.
I would have the same advice for you. I think hearing personal stories and personal experiences is the most helpful way of understanding what your life at Center might, or at any school, might be like. I know that through the Global Center Ambassadors, 3 different international students, I'm one of them, Real is another one, is another one. We hold regular weekly office hours. So if you ever have questions or just want to learn more about our experience here at Center, or anything else, just want to chat, feel free to stop by. I think the sessions are, mine is on Friday. I think Maryland, no, your sessions are on Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll send the schedule later. But for me, I think it's always telling when international students from the school are reaching out to you, or when an admissions counselor just really seems like they care about you, and hearing personal experience is the most important factor. So don't be afraid of reaching out.
Okay, I have a pretty standard advice that I usually give to anybody of college age, and that is check your emails regularly. Pick the email that you know you're gonna get emails at, and just check it regularly, reply them, fix a time for that. I personally am also working on this thing, and it will make your life much easier in college. So that's the only quick advice I'll give.
My
Yeah,
piece of advice.
Oh, sorry.
You go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So for me, my advice is that because we are international students, we cannot go to campus and have a campus tour. So I really recommend you guys to go Central website, take a virtual tour to see how Central look like. Also reach out to our current student, ask the question. You can also reach out to Joy, our admission counselor, to ask more about everything you expect in Central, not only about academic, but you can ask a question about the student life, lesson life here. Yeah.
My piece of advice is very brief, and I would say that in your first year, take classes that you would really, really enjoy, and take classes that you think that you would excel in, because it's really hard to try to take challenging classes while also navigating, acclimating to the campus environment, developing social life, understanding the resources that you have. When you start with easy classes, it makes life a lot easier, not just in your first year, but it really sets you up for success for the rest of your time at Center. So speak to your advisor, and if your advisor has nothing to do with what you're doing, look up the faculty page and reach out to someone that you think is relevant to you, and talk to them.
Well, thank you all for such amazing advice and all the, wisdom that you have accumulated over the years. But I'm very thankful for this panel for sharing their experiences and their amazing college application journey and their center experiences so far. So thank you. A round of applause for our panelists. Yay, digital or real life, whichever one you prefer. But that concludes the panel discussion portion of our program today. I hope you're able to get an idea of how Uliana, Anahit, Ibrahim, Maril, and Ngop came to or made their college decisions and why they chose Center. We sincerely hope that you feel empowered and confident to make your college decision as May 1st deadline approaches. But as many of the panelists said, we're here to help with any questions you may have about Center or the college decision making process. So please connect with us. Feel free to reach out to us, and we're here to help.